Hey all, Scott couldn't be here today. I had to fill in for him. But it's perfect timing. I wanted to shake up how I make videos here on this channel. You might be wondering, doesn't this seem like a drastic change in content for your channel? Or maybe, what do you mean Scott couldn't be here today? And those are good questions. But my fundraiser didn't raise enough money to warrant an answer.
Indie games. Games made by a single person or small group of people without the help of some larger publisher, but some larger projects do use fundraisers to help make whatever they're working on.
I mean, I could also be called an indie game. It's not like my parents at Microsoft helped make a baby.
Shovel Knight, Super Meat Boy, Hat in Time, all can be classified as successful indie games. Some people even make a little fundraiser to get some money to help make their game, sometimes putting in money goals where they would do something special like release the game on a certain console or add features. But it would make sense that because indie games only have a small handful of people working on it, the game won't be as polished or look as good as AAA games made by iconic developers, right? Uh-oh. Yeah, so just because a game is made by a AAA developer doesn't mean it has the AAA quality we expect it to. I mean, just look at Pac-Man Party.
Huh.
But of course, it's vice versa too. Indie games aren't all unpolished messes that have the Unity splash screen when starting. Some are legitimate passion projects that have days, years of work put into them. I, like many people, have had a better overall experience with an indie title than a first-party game. Maybe it's because a small developer wants to get a good first impression, and so they put in so much effort and detail. Meanwhile, a big corporation might try to rush out carbon copy games yearly, or make a giant project with huge crunch time. I mean, as long as the game gets out and copies are sold, why care about the specifics, right? You can usually tell when what you're playing is an indie or not, and that's not a bad thing, they just have this unique charm. That or it looks like garbage. You can feel the love and care that the creator put into the project, even if the game is only a few hours long. Not to say that you won't find this love in like Smash Bros. Or Kingdom Hearts, by all means. However, there is a dark side to indie games. The copycats. Sure, some of them are unique or original in their own way, but a lot of them are just clones of other indie games with a worse looking coat of paint. Any game that's made by a small group or singular person can be called an indie, so one look at the eShop and you'll find a lot of, what? And, what is this? Don't get me wrong, if a game is similar, that doesn't mean it's a copy or it's not worth playing. But that won't stop people from comparing.
I found this article here that compiles a bunch of indie games that apparently copied other games. So let's see here. We got Shovel Knight copying Mega Man, Braid copying Mario, Axiom Verge copying Metroid, Dr. Mario copying... That's not even an indie title.
I'm honestly surprised Friday Night Funkin' isn't on this list. It wouldn't be a shocker for them to label as a Dance Dance Revolution ripoff, and well... And you aren't wrong for saying that exactly. The main idea of that game is you hit the arrow keys when an arrow glides in the right spot. That's the core basis for most rhythm/music games. Guitar Hero, Osu, Taiko no Tatsujin, etc. But the music and art is totally separate. I wouldn't classify Friday Night Funkin' as a ripoff, more so a spiritual successor. Even though DDR still gets new games. Besides that, some games still just don't try to hide it, especially since Unity created that 3D/2D game template, and now there's tons of games out there that play and feel identical but look just a tiny bit different. And not to discredit Unity, it's a great development tool, and some great stuff has been made with it. It's also a very popular engine when it comes to these little things called game jams. Game jams are these competitions where thousands of people are given a set amount of time to make a game, usually revolving around a given topic, and these are so cool. Just watching people make these games from scratch over the course of a few days, writing code, making models or sprites and music in all such a short time is kind of motivating. I mean, like if these people are able to make enjoyable games in like a week, surely I'll be able to write a script for a video without constantly putting it out for a month. I personally just think it's really cool to watch all these people trying to make a playable thing that fast. Knowing me, I probably wouldn't even have a chance in one of these competitions. The ideas and concepts that people come up for these jams, though, are pretty intricate. Even the ones that have a set idea for what their game should be about. Everyone who participates creates separate experiences with different art styles, and they're amazing. Game jams are definitely a key factor that gets people into making games full-time. Some games made for game jams even make the jump to fully fledged titles later down the line, like Celeste or Superhot, and that's good for them. But there's always something to be afraid of as an indie dev, and that's not indie devs. Some companies have done this really weird act, patenting game mechanics. And now at this point it's kind of old news, but you should still be wary of it. Like imagine you're making a game and you unknowingly put Warner Brothers' Nemesis mechanic in it. Next thing you know, a hitman is at your door. I think patenting a game mechanic is kind of dumb. Appending a car model or physical invention, yeah, sure, knock yourself out. But loading screen minigames? Why? Like, is there a beneficial reason for doing it? No, it just limits other people's creativity. Sure, a company could reach out to the patent owner and try to get legal use of whatever they wanted, but do you really think Namco was going to give some 19-year-old in Arizona legal use of their loading screen games? Of course, even with some limitations from companies or budget, loads of people still throw their hat into the ring and create a game, and thanks to free development tools, assets, and easy availability to programs like Audacity or GIMP, really, anybody can become a game developer. But should they have that power? Like, a majority of indie games are god-awful, it's just that you only hear about the good ones. Only when there are good ones to talk about. Look at literally any game store or website and you will easily find a truckload worth of garbage games made by a single person in 2 hours that should absolutely not cost $15. But overall, indie games can still be a great time. It is truly inspiring seeing all these people pour their heart and soul into their dream project. Yeah, sure, sometimes the dream project is garbage, but hey, it was their dream. I'm not one to judge dreams. But Nintendo seems to have this problem of just letting anyone with a game put the game on their eShop. They're just enabling the production of bad games. It started with the Wii U and it just got even worse, and now it feels like they let anything on the Switch. You scroll through the new releases and you'll find like one first-party title and 60 indie titles. And it's even worse when you actually take a look at the eShop on the Switch. It's 90% comprised of indie games, and 89% of them are terrible! This console is stupid, I hate it! You know, now that I got that out of my system, I think I'm finally ready to move on with my life. And perfect timing too, I just gotta check and GoFundMe. I reached my fundraiser goal. I can finally start my dream project, Monotony!